Okay, let's remember that a translation, the definition, is when you slide or shift a figure in a horizontal, which is your x direction, left or right, and or, so you could be one or the other, both, a vertical, that's up or down, the y direction. Okay, so first let me explain or remind you that a horizontal, that's either moving to the right. If you move to the right, you're looking at a positive movement. Or it's a movement to the left. If you move to the left, you're making a negative movement. Okay? Your vertical, that's either an up, and if you're moving up, that's a positive direction, or a down, and if you're moving down, that's a negative direction. Okay, so those are the movements that you're going to be making, and when you describe a translation, you're giving those two directions, either left, right, or up or down. Okay, now this could be done in words. You could just be told to move something, so many, 7 places to the left and 3 places up, or units they might say. So you could just be given verbally how to do that. You could also be given it as a rule like this right here. And what this says is that any point x, y maps onto, and then they tell you that in the x direction you're going to add 5. Well, in the x direction, that's your horizontal. And if you're adding 5, it means you're moving to the right. So this rule right here is telling you to move 5 units to the right, and in the y direction they want you to subtract 3. So when you're subtracting in the y direction, you're up or down, you're moving down and down 3 units. Okay? So these are actually probably the easiest of all the transformations. So let's go ahead and do an example. I don't think you need more explanation than that. Okay, so this example says that we are going to translate, okay, we want to pay attention to the vocabulary and the directions. Usually in directions you can pinpoint 2, 3 words that are significant in doing the problem. So translation tells me that what I'm going to be doing is a slide, and I want to slide the figure 3 units to the left and 1 unit up. So if I'm going 3 units to the left, that's this way, and it's a negative movement, and 1 unit up, that's this way, and that's a positive movement. So they gave it to me in words here. Let's write out what the rule would look like if you were given it to a rule. The rule would read that any point x, y maps onto, and you're going to take the x and you're going to move left, which means you're going to subtract 3. And then you're going to take the y, you're going to move up, so that's positive 1 unit. Okay, so that would be the rule if they asked for the rule. Okay, now let's go ahead and do this transformation. So I'm going to do my answer in red. And I'm also going to show you a little notation here. Okay, so this is my pre-image. And I can tell it's my pre-image because there's no apostrophes on my letters. I'll show you what I mean. Let's go ahead and do this. You're not going to take the whole thing. I mean, you could use tracing paper. Okay, you could use tracing paper, which really makes no sense to do for a translation, but just to show you what we're doing. You could take tracing paper, trace your figure, and do your shift. You move the whole thing at once. So we're going to go 3 units left, so 1, 2, 3, and then 1 unit up. And so up 1 unit. Okay, but you're not going to have tracing paper around very often, and also this is way easier than you need to use tracing paper for. So, okay, we're just going to take, there's 3 points in this figure that we want to move, and we're just going to move them one at a time. So I'm going to start with A, point A. I'm going to go 3 units left. 1, 2, 3. And I don't make a dot until I go 1 unit up. Okay. Now this is my new A. Once you make your translation, you're going to put an apostrophe. So that notifies the person that this is the A, this is where we started, and this is called A prime, this is where we finish. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing to the other 2 points. I'm going to go left 3 units, 1, 2, 3, and up 1 unit. And that's when I make my dot. And that was point C, and I'm going to put an apostrophe because I've done my transformation. And I have one more point to move. I'm going to go left 1, 2, 3, up 1. And that's B prime. Once you connect those points, you have your image. Okay, so I took the figure and I shifted it, I slid it, I translated 3 units to the left and 1 unit up, and I landed here on the image.